Welcome back to Big Gold Belt Media. I am Damien G with another review for the channel. This time, I just got done watching the 4-part documentary called Spy High, scheduled to be dropping April 8th on Prime. This one was a pleasant surprise. I'm going to just say that right now. Pleasant surprise. So let me just say this. Have you ever watched something and you really thought it was going to be cookie cutter, run of the mill, and then it does a complete 180 when you get to a certain point of the thing you're watching? Yeah, that is how I felt while watching Spy High. So this is directed by Jody McVeigh Schultz. And if you've ever wanted to go down the rabbit hole as to the line between safety and security versus infringing on the rights of minors, this is the show for you, the document you need to see if this is something that triggers your fancy, as it were. I thought it was going to be something simple. I thought it was going to be something cut and dry, cut and paste. At first, I thought it was just going to be another school does bad thing, school gets caught, everyone freaks out, and then that would have been it, and then they get their comeuppance. Ooh, this went way deeper than I thought it was going to go. So let me see the steps we take here. Corrupt school officials, that's one. Lawsuits that are spiraling out of control, that's two. Potential personal vendettas between the school and students, as well as the board and certain students. Racial profiling, and a defense team in terms of the family they were defending that could have been written out of a bad legal drama. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could have been a bad legal drama. So you have all these things thrown into the pot of magic that is Spy High. So what is it exactly? It is a 4-part documentary, and it revolves predominantly around the Robbins family. They're at the heart of it, right? They're the ones who discovered that the Lower Merion School District, and I know a lot of you basketball heads know exactly what that school district is and who that really signifies. So this school district was apparently spying on students through their school-issued laptop back in the early 2000s. So before we had what we have now to communicate and things of that nature, this is way back in the day when schools were finally giving out little MacBooks to their students to help with Blackboard, any kind of virtual teaching methodology. But here's the thing. That's all fun and good, but the kids didn't know they were being spied on, potentially. Photos of them being illegally taken without anyone's knowledge or consent. Okay? So right there, that's already pissed me off. It's got me, a person who has worked in the human service industry outside of this for over 20 years. The fact that school officials, as you watch this documentary unfold, failed, I'm going to say it again, failed at every step of the way, except when it was time to be really grimy and greedy, was the only time that they put in the work to actually care about their students. And I got to tell you, the more I watched this, the more I started to not understand who the bad guys were. On one hand, you have the Robbins family, and they're portrayed for you not to like them in the early portions of this. Just a weird space watching a family talk about their dealings with the school board and things like that. But then you really get to understand where the crux of the situation is with this actual family. And there's a cloud of doubt around them, right? There's a cloud of doubt. And typically when you're dealing with things like that, especially in legal situations, you are thought, you might not be the most trusted witness, the most trusted person to speak on this. But when you get to episode 2 and 3, that's when we go down the rabbit hole I mentioned earlier. So when you're dealing with this family and the Robbins family, and it's really centered around the son, Blake Robbins, who at the time I believe was 15 when this all went down. And as the documentary portrays Blake, especially in the first 10 minutes, if you were on the school side in those first 10 to 15 minutes, I understand, because he is portrayed to be the jerky kid we all went to high school with who gets away with things just because of who his parents are on the surface, right? But as we get closer to, let's say, the end of episode 1, and then we go down episodes 2 and 3, and we're thinking, oh, no, you're not really the bad guy in this situation. You're the kid that needed to be protected. So it swirls mostly around him and his family. And there's a lot of mudslinging thrown in here about his family, and I'll let the documentary talk about that. But the way this was paced was almost not like a whodunit, but more of a no way. Because I found myself screaming WTF a lot of times while watching this, and I didn't expect it. I really did not expect to kind of be on my, oh no, he didn't, or no, they didn't situations. Again, cut and dry. That's what I thought this was going to be. It wasn't. And I want to give McVeigh-Schultz the director, a big kudos for integrating so much on a very sensitive topic. Because at what point, and I mentioned this in the earlier part of the review, at what point did the school go from trying to protect children to straight up taking advantage of them? And whose fault was it? And you're going to watch it all play out. You're going to watch it play out. People are going to admit to certain things and deny other things. And it just keeps you guessing with all this quick-paced, real footage and these interviews with other students and people who battled the school board within the community. They're especially when we get to, I believe, episode 3, it kind of took another turn for me. And as a person of color, I kind of felt some type of way about it in all the best ways possible, right? It stirred something in me. And it made me want to make sure that this world is a little less sucky with the time I have on this planet. As I said, multiple times I said, what the hell? And the story just goes on, and you're finding yourself engrossed more in the web that's being kind of weaved here by all parties involved. And then when you get to the lawyers regarding suing the school board and suing the school for violating privacy, and then when you hear the lawyers talk, I just feel kind of dirty, kind of itchy. I feel as if these kids were exploited while watching this film. I wanted to reach into this video and give them all the biggest hug and apologize for the adults not taking care of them like they should have, as we are the stewards of the younger generation. And it just hit a lot of different chords with me, as someone who understands on all sides. I've worked in schools. Obviously, I've been a student. I've been on clubs. I understand being falsely accused of things. That has happened to me. So I had a connection to different parts of the story, and that kept me engrossed. So, roundabout way to say, I'm going to give this about a 3.5 out of 5. It was an enjoyable watch. I thought the first episode kind of dragged on a little bit because I thought it was going to be cut and paste. And then I was taken on the journey as if this was Gilligan's Island and we got stranded on a 3-hour tour. And by the end of this, I was left feeling sad. I was left feeling confused. I was left feeling upset for what happened to these kids and to what happened to the Robbins family. And despite how they're portrayed in this movie, the facts are children's privacy was taken advantage of, allegedly. So that's what I hope you all get from this film. Again, 3.5 out of 5 stars. My heart goes out to the Robbins family and everyone that's been affected by this, not even with just this case, globally, nationwide, things like that. We got to do better as adults to take care of kids. We have to do better. And I was so saddened to see that this was the route adults took to quote unquote protect their children. So again, 3.5 out of 5. Watch it. Let me know what you think. Again, Spy High dropping on Prime April 8th. It left something in me. And I'm going to take it with me after I'm done with this. And I'm going to carry it with me. And I hope you carry something with it too. So let us know down in the comments below. Did you like this show? Did you like this documentary? Did it strike a chord like it struck mine? Were you pissed off at the way some of the kids were being portrayed? Let me know down in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe here at Big Gold Belt Media, biggoldbelt.com. I'm Damien G, and I will catch you on the next review.